They told me I had no ear for music. It was late November, oppressively hot outside, sweat sticking my shirt to my skin in my uncle's cramped home studio above his hardware shop in Mayer. Family members filled the low-lit room, windows cracked, but no breeze moving the heavy air. On the walls, lacquered guitars and sun-faded posters of samba stars hung as if desperate not to slide down. My uncle was fiddling with a cracked cassette deck, my mother beside him, her brow pinched. I was 16, trembling despite the heat, holding my first set of demo tapes, cheap plastic cassettes with handwritten labels. One by one, I slid them into the battered player, introduced each with all the confidence I could muster. This one's a rainstorm over a favela. All sounds are from the street. Next, a beach at night. Waves, laughter, distant dogs. They pressed play, but silence thickened as each track unspooled. My work was all atmosphere, layers of ordinary real sounds, woven with love, but, to them, empty of worth. My aunt stifled a yawn. My cousin muttered, half amused, "It's just noise." Luis, my brother, grinned cruelly. "So you want to be the next Caetano Veloso, but with garbage trucks and barking dogs?" The others snickered, a slow building wave. Mocking finger piano gestures rippled through the crowd. My grandmother looked away, embarrassed, tracing the tablecloth's edge. Only my father tried to meet my eyes, but his glance was hollowed out by the mounting tension. He had wanted something for me, anything but this, whatever this was. "People make music, Filho," my uncle lectured, shaking his head. "They sing or they play. You think there'll ever be a career in this?" He gestured at my tapes like they were litter. "What will you tell your children? That you spent your life making sound soup?" I stood there, the room blurring around me, heart hammering behind my ribs. Another cousin piped up, "Maybe at Carnival someone needs a guy to make the sound of chicken feet." The laughter peaked. Someone clapped. Mock applause. No one saw my shaking hands. No one noticed the burn behind my eyes. I gathered my tapes, thanked them for listening. They barely heard. That night, upstairs, door closed. I listened to those same tapes on cheap headphones. I pressed my palms hard over the earpieces, shut my eyes, willed the ambient hum, the scuffed sandal shuffle, the distant horn to gather me in. I breathed in silence, then let resolve settle into my bones. After high school, I left home. No party, no fanfare. Louise was the only one to see me sling my battered backpack and slide into the dawn. He stood in the hallway, already half laughing. "Don't forget your chicken feet, Maestro." I looked at him, didn't answer. The city swallowed me in, noisy and indifferent. I rented a room in Gloria, 5th floor walk-up, above a bakery. I took every job, dishwashing, hauling amps at clubs, restocking supermarket shelves overnight. The demo tapes lay in my sock drawer, never played. In daylight, after work, I haunted studios downtrodden and gleaming both, offering to run cables, sweep floors, check connections. Most said nothing. A few smirked, but I learned. Sometimes. A weary engineer let me adjust the levels or edit a take. Sometimes, late at night, a soundboard operator would step out for a smoke, and I would scrub and layer ambient tracks, privately, streetcars, rusted air conditioners, churrasco smoke wavering in the dusk, all rendered as soft soundscapes. Each night, I built a private catalog, baptized in the small grace of headphones. Days blurred into years. Rejection became familiar. My mother's voice on the phone. Tired. "Have you eaten enough? You know we worry." She never asked about my work, never mentioned the tapes. In the 3rd year, a minor miracle. A film student named Pedro overheard me mixing beach dialogue at a club side room and asked if I could design sound for his short. The pay was pathetic. Bus fare and stale pão de queijo, but I treated it like a world premiere. I spent nights at his cramped Ilha do Governador apartment, waves of traffic below, circling and recircling scenes, layering mosquito whines, the tick of ceiling fans, the thump of dread behind closed doors. The film was rejected by festivals. Pedro moved to London. But a critic writing in O Globo mentioned the audacious sound palette, more Rio than the Rio you see. It was a crack. I jammed my foot in and pushed. A producer at Globo called. Then, suddenly, it was a trickle. A commercial, a documentary, a second short, then a real film. Gritty, low budget, but ambitious. I worked maniacally, chasing the right resonance between silence and the city's heartbeat. Each job, I heard the mocking voices lessen. Each new contract, I felt my roots crisscross the city's asphalt, finding water. 3 years after Pedro's short, my name appeared in the credits of a feature film. Not just a squiggle at the end, my name, bold as day, below sound design. When the film took a minor prize at Cine Ceará, I took a photo of my name on the festival's big screen. I texted it to my father. An hour later, he replied, "I saw. Come home soon, okay?" Nothing else. I did not go home. Not yet. Work begot more work, and then, suddenly, it was 5 years later, and I had a little studio, half-gutted shop on the border of Lapa, hung with black foam, a mismatched console, and a crazy tangle of headphone cords. Strangers, even strangers from other cities, called and asked for me specifically. In that cocoon of borrowed sound, I found myself steady, if not precisely happy or peaceful. Then one afternoon, my cousin Andre, the only one who never mocked me but had disappeared into engineering school, called. His father, my uncle, was celebrating his 70th birthday. A big family party planned, everyone coming. Louise would be there. "They want to see you. They say you're famous now." Andre chuckled at the word. "Even Tia Celeste said you're a big success." There was real affection, a tremor of pride in his voice. I hung up, hands cold. My first reaction was no. Rejection, even old and faded, still throbbed. I had built a world apart from them. But in the week that followed, I remembered that night in the studio. Heat, humiliation, that thickening silence. I wanted them to see, not for revenge, but acknowledgment, concrete proof. I wanted to fill that silence with something I had forged. I called my mother. "They said you'll be there for the party." A pause, then her anxious, hopeful voice, "Yes, Fiu, everyone will be there. Come." As the day approached, my chest was tight, like before a storm. I packed a small box, a Polaroid of my studio, a stack of glossy festival programs, and in a softer case, a pair of headphones and a flash drive. My weapon, my lifeline. That Saturday, Mayor's lights scorched and dazzling, I climbed the creaking stairs. The sense of coffee and fried cassava, familiar but painfully distant. My uncle's living room was crammed with relatives, nieces running shrieking, hair slicked with sweat. The denser adults gathered around steaming trays of food. The same guitars and posters, sunlight bleaching them further now. My mother ran to embrace me, thin arms trembling. My father, older and grayer, eyes soft behind thick glasses. Even Louise stood by, awkwardly shifting from foot to foot. My uncle, 70, but unchanged, beamed at me. "Olha só, the prodigal comes home." He clapped me on the back, his laugh grand and public. "Come, show your fancy work. Tia Celeste says you're in the papers. Big time." And for the first time, the energy wasn't mocking, but expectant. A cousin snapped a photo. Another asked, "Really, you work on TV now?" Andre, ever the diplomat, steered me to the old studio, still the same, though dustier, the cassette deck nearly fossilized. A rickety new sound system perched on a corner shelf. "Let's show them, Primo," he whispered, sly grin. Slowly my kin gathered. Louise, arms crossed, Tia Celeste, even grandmother shifted her chair to face me. I plugged in my flash drive, heart quietly imploding.